Hello everybody, it's your boy Banks FX and I'm here today with this new video. Today we'll be talking about market patterns, how you can actually trade the market patterns, and I'll be telling you, showing you some important market patterns you are not to neglect once you see them in the market, important patterns that you're supposed to trade. Note that there are several kinds of patterns in the market. The patterns in this market are many, so the earlier you pick the best out of all and start using them, the better for you. That is the aim of this video. I will be showing you patterns you're supposed to use in the market, important patterns that are going to pay you well in this space. Now I'm going straight to what we have here today. Our first pattern that we'll be talking about is the head and shoulder pattern. Now this is the bullish head and shoulder patterns that I'm having here. This is just an illustration of how a physical human being, who is breathing, the way he looks in his own structure. The physical human being has a head and two shoulders. The physical human being has one head with two shoulders, a left shoulder and a right shoulder. Same thing applied in this market. The market, we are just illustrating, trying to use how the human being looks, bringing it down to the chart and forming something that we can just use to make it easy for everybody to understand what we're saying in the market. Now this is a bullish head and shoulder setup. The market was initially trending down. The market was coming down. The initial move of the market was a downtrend. It was coming down. All of a sudden the market rejected and started going back up, and the market came down. When the market was coming down at first, it gave us our left shoulder, which is spotted down there, a left shoulder, and it started going back up. It rejected and started going back up, giving us the left shoulder, and all of a sudden the market started coming back to the downward side, started impulsing to the downward side, forming the head. Market started forming the head when it started coming back down. All of a sudden the market started going back up, which in turn created the right shoulder. The market created the right shoulder and broke the neck region. The neck region is already stated there. Look at it there at the trend line. It broke the neck region, trying to tell you that this is an uptrend move. You're already trying to tell you that okay, you're about to go bullish in this market. Do you understand? This is just an introduction to the patterns. I will give a good illustration in the real chart, but for now, just flow with what you're seeing here. I just want your eyes to master what you are seeing here. Your eyes should be used to what you're seeing here. That is why I just had to pick the most easiest of them and the most effective ones of them. You understand? Okay, that is how it is. Moving to the next one here. Now this is also a head and shoulder setup. If you can see, it's already looking like a human being. It's already looking like a human being. If you see what is here, there is a left shoulder, there is a head, and there is a right shoulder. If you can't see it, man, you need a glass. Do you understand? You need an eyeglass. I'm just kidding, but you're supposed to see this. It is very obvious. The market was initially trending to the upside, creating a left shoulder, rejected downward, and started impulsing back to the upside, giving us our head, and the market was rejected and started coming back to the downward side, which in turn created a right shoulder before impulsing to the downward side, breaking the neck region. There was a breakout in the neck region, trying to tell you that we are actually going down. We are actually going on a downtrend. These are market patterns that you need to score them in your head, because they are going to pay you off in this space. Now going to the next one we have here. We have the double bottom, which is also known as the W pattern, a very important pattern that you always see in this market. The double bottom, which is also known as the W pattern. If you can see here, the market was initially coming down. The market was impulsing to the downward side, and it got rejected, and it was going up, creating our first bottom. And this market rejected again and came to the downward path, trying to break the other region, the other left region of the W pattern, but it couldn't break it. The market started going back up, creating a double bottom. That is why it is being called a double bottom or a W pattern. If you can use your eye well, you understand that what you're seeing here is more like a W. Note the market, in the real market, it will not always be as perfect as this. The market can never give you a clean job that you want, but the ability to stay long in the market will open your eye, and once you see all these things, you always know them, you understand. Now this is a sweet W pattern, a double bottom pattern, a W pattern, trying to tell you that we are going bullish. Whenever you see the W pattern or the double bottom, it is trying to indicate that we are actually buying, we are going up, we are impulsing to the upside. That is just what the double bottom or the W pattern is, the same thing. That is what it is trying to tell you. Now going to the next one, we have the double bottom. It is just vice versa with the double bottom. This is the double top, sorry, this is the double top. This one is the double top, the M pattern. You can call it the M pattern or the double top. It's already stated here as the first top and the second top. Initially, this market was trending to the upside. The market was actually going to the upside, and it got rejected and started coming back to the downward side. Now the market all of a sudden was rejected again, and it started going back to the upside, creating a second top at that region. All of a sudden the market started coming down, and it broke the neckline. That is the neckline labeled in that region. The market broke the neckline, and I want you to always note that 95% of the time, whenever the neckline is being broken, it will always get retested. The market will always retest that zone. That is, the market will always want to go back a little bit, then before coming to the downward path. Whenever you see a double top pattern or the M pattern, which is actually the same thing, it is trying to tell you that we are going bearish in the market. We are about to go bearish in the market. We are going downward. We are trending to the downward path of the market. Now let's move to what we have next. The flag pattern. This is the bullish flag pattern. You can also call it the continuation pattern, but it is generally called the flag pattern. Once you spot a flag in a chart, it's just trying, especially a bullish flag, it is just trying to tell you that okay, we are actually continuing this movement. We are actually going to the upside. Now take for example what this market was doing here. The market was trending to the upside. It was impulsing up to the upper side. All of a sudden the market started correcting. It corrected and formed a flag. If you can see already, there is a pole there and there is a flag. But note that in the real chart, the market will not always give you something as nice as this. I just had to do this one for it to be clear, because you're a newbie to the market. You're still new to the market. I just want something that will be very clear. The market will not always give you the perfect thing that you need, but the ability to stay long in the market, you understand what you're doing. Once you see these patterns, you already know what to do next. Do you understand? Now this is a bullish flag. The market was impulsing up to the upper side, and it started correcting, creating the flag, and it continued movement. You understand? Whenever you spot this bullish flag, it's already indicating that we are going to continue this move to the upper side. These are important patterns that you need to take note of. Important patterns. There are several patterns, but I'm giving you the most effective patterns of them all. Now moving to what we have next. This is also a flag pattern, but in this case, this is a bearish flag pattern. This is a bearish flag pattern. Now this market was trending to the down path. The market was trending to the down path. All of a sudden, the market started correcting itself, and I told you that the flag is just more like a continuation pattern. The flag is just like telling you that okay, we are the flag is just trying to tell you that okay, we are actually trending to this zone, but for the meantime, I want to correct a little bit. I want to form a flag. After the flag is being formed, then I will continue my initial movement. Now the initial movement of this, the movement of the whole buyers of the market here was a downtrend. The market was actually trending to the down path. The market was trending to the down path, and it started correcting, creating a flag pattern for us, and the market continued its movement to the down path. Now if you could remember, in all my videos, that in most of my videos I do post, I always tell you that the third touch of the market has the highest probability. The third touch of the market has the highest probability of either selling or buying. Now if you can count, we have the first, second and third touch. It was after the third touch the market started selling to the downward path. You understand? The market is very easy if you choose to make it easy. Now moving to the next one we have here. This is a channel. This is a channel, but in this case, this is a bullish channel. Once you spot, let me give you a food for thought here. Anytime you spot a channel coming to the down path, like the channel is actually bending to the down path, it's just trying, most at times, 90% of the time to 95% of the time, it must always go bullish. It is just trying to tell you that, yo bro, yo sis, you're going bullish in this market. So the next thing you do, you arrange yourself for a buying market. You understand? And I told you about the third touch. There was actually a third touch in this move. There was the first touch there. It was indicated here. It has been indicated here. There is a first touch. There is a second touch, and there is a third touch. And I told you the third touch has highest probability of playing out. And what happened there? After the third touch, the market started buying. You could have bought in that region. The market also gave us a candlestick confirmation, giving us a doji, not a perfect doji double. It gave us a doji at that region, which is trying to tell you that okay, we are actually buying in this zone. That is a confirmation also. This is just how the market plays. The market is very simple if you choose to make it simple. Now these are what I have for you today. Important market patterns you should take note of. Please always try as much as possible to backtest. I will always tell you in every video, backtest, try to practice. You don't just watch and feel you already know everything. It is not done that way. The ability for you to backtest and practice will make you the perfect person in which you want to be. You understand? Even if you can't be 100% perfect, which no one is, you can be at least 90 to 95% perfect in this space, in this market. Now thank you for staying with me to this time. I remain your humble boy, Banks FX. Known as Mary Banks. Thank you for staying with me. I'm out. Peace.